Parent-Driven Schools believes the individual learning plan is a tool that must be available for all students. It's a powerful resource for teachers and parents. It's a valuable tool for students. It helps the student, the parent, and the teacher bridge that communication gap, organize their information, and help them design clear educational pathways to help them maximize their learning opportunities and increase their learning potential. There's lots of different ways that you can access the individual learning plan. It can be something informal, and you can use a lot of the different tools that are available on our website. Today, we're speaking with Patricia Jackson, a middle school teacher who utilizes the Interest and Abilities Map, a tool and a part of the individual learning plan that helps parents, teachers, and students create positive, successful education change in their everyday learning environment. So Patricia, describe for us how you share or introduce the Interest and Abilities Map to your parents.
Frequently in middle school, parents will come to me and they are at a loss of how to help their student. They don't know where to start. They don't even know how to communicate their students' needs to the school. And so a great thing that I do is introduce them to the Interest and Abilities Map and say, here, use this fabulous tool from Parent-Driven Schools, and it starts the dialogue between the parent and the child so that they get the right language together to approach the school, and then they can lay it out in a very well communicated way what they want to say to the school and how to help support that child through school. And at this age, it's great because it's the age they should start taking ownership of those goals and aspirations. And mom and dad shouldn't always be the ones going to the school and saying, this is my desire for my child. It should be the child saying, this is my desire for my life. Can you help me become a lifelong learner and help me figure out how to make this happen for myself? It's really great.
That's right. At Parent-Driven Schools, we're really all about helping the parent and the teacher create a cultural shift. We believe that the child and the student needs to understand the importance of having that accountability and that responsibility for their learning. We like to describe it as a need to shift, the cultural shift of needing to learn versus needing to be taught. When we talk about needing to be learning, a need to learn, we're talking about being proactive, being responsible, versus just sitting in the chair waiting for the teacher to give you information. And that's a very reactive mode. We want to be able to create positive change in the education environment. And so we believe supporting the teacher, the parent, and the student in creating that cultural shift of stepping away from the need to be taught to having the desire to learn. And we know that will make positive, creative, lifelong learners for all of us.
Another way that I have used the Interest and Abilities Map is actually to introduce it to the students first. I've had a whole class of 8th graders, and we were doing a career exploration type of unit. And so I had them take this IM, and a component of that project was for them to go home and actually sit down and share it with their parents and talk about it and talk about how this is going to help them reach their learning goals. And actually had some phone calls from parents really amazed about, wow, this is a great tool. We had some really productive conversations with this. I've never gotten this much information out of my middle school child before. You know, that's a common complaint among parents at this age. How do we talk to our kids anymore? You know, they just won't talk to us. And if the kids are interested, an active participant, and it's about them, they will open up. And you can get all kinds of great information and find out the ways that they can help themselves become that lifelong learner and pursue those goals and take their responsibility to a new level for their education.
Our founder, Randy Gashler, is passionate about parents absolutely doing what you described, collecting that information and actually cataloging it. It may not be useful today, but you definitely want to be able to reference it. And the Interest and Abilities Map is a great way for parents to do that. And I love to hear that parents are calling you and initiating a conversation after you send home that packet of information. Because I'm sure as an educator, you sometimes wonder, do they ever get anything out of the backpack? So it's wonderful. And you know that they can go to the website and further research and read more about the student's learning style. We have definitions of auditory, visual, kinesthetic. We also have great resources available on the website if you're interested about learning and disabilities, or if your student is one of those great, wonderful, just middle of the road students, how to keep them challenged, how to keep them focused. And we also identify some resources on the web that we feel are powerful. Parent-Driven Schools wants to be the clearinghouse for parents. We connect you with government websites as well as nonprofit and non-government organizations because there is so much information out there, and busy parents want to be involved parents. And the best way for a parent to be involved in their child's education is to sit down and have that communication. It seems so simple, and yet, as we know, as busy parents, it is a challenge, especially when we hit those middle school years, where the kids are just a lot more independent. And so using the Interest and Abilities Map to create that dialogue and open those doors and help that student voice their concerns about how they want to take on that responsibility for their learning and to maximize those learning opportunities, that parent is going to feel so empowered. And they really haven't had to change their schedule at all. They've just connected to their student and helped create positive change.